Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a sticker podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
So tonight we're going to speak straight to the American people and cut right through the fake news media. Right through. We're going to speak the plain truth and really the truth that you just want to hear. You have to hear. They don't want to hear. But, and by the way, did you see all the corrections the media's been making? They're saying, sorry, they've been doing that all year. They never apologized. Maybe that comes with being the president. I don't know. They've been apologizing left and right.
Wait, were they or not?
They took this fraudster from ABC. They suspended him for a month. They should have fired him for what he wrote.
He didn't write anything.
He drove the stock market down 350 points in minutes, which, by the way, tells you they really like me, right? When you think of it.
Oh, so that's where we left off. That was the Friday night. Apparently there's a warrant out for my arrest in Alabama, so therefore I'll stay in Pensacola right on the Alabama border, and I will campaign for Roy Moore, but not with Roy Moore, because that's just too embarrassing. I mean, this is amazing. And they are on this tear now to discredit all of the mainstream media who sometimes makes mistakes, and they do issue corrections all the time. It happens. This story's been updated to reflect this, or this story's been redacted because of that, or this story. And Brian Ross gave a report last week that had a word wrong in it. It said that that Michael Flynn was directed by Donald Trump to do the reach around to the Russians, and that was not true. ABC corrected the report, and then they suspended Brian Ross for a month because it was a big story, and he got it wrong. And so not only did they correct the story, but they suspended the reporter who got the story wrong from a source. And that's what the media is supposed. I don't know about the suspension, but I do know that the correction is something that, in the newspapers, oh, that's right. We're talking newspapers. People don't read them. And on the network news, that's right. People don't watch network news. Could you tell me who the anchor is on CBS Evening News? Could you? No. Could you tell me who the anchor is on ABC Evening News? NBC Evening News? See? So this is just incredible what's going on. But, Donald Trump and, Sarah had a very, very nasty day today with the media. I mean, they are riding this Brian Ross story for all it's worth. So Jim Acosta was asking questions. He didn't even intend to go down this road with her. But she started attacking the media, too, because anything that Trump tells her to do, she will do. It's really kind of crazy. But, Sarah is the wall that he built. She is the wall. And she will do anything to defend him. And she did today. She started screaming because Jim Acosta wanted to know if there would be a congressional inquiry into the accusers who appeared today on several platforms, if you will. The accusers, Donald Trump has 3 accusers, plus 1 in court, okay? Summer Zervos is suing Donald Trump for defamation. And then you have Rachel Crooks, who worked at the Trump Organization. You have, I forget, the one on the airplane, Jessica Leeds, the 30-year-old story, right? But she says, listen, the story is old, but I just think that you should all know, what he does on an airplane when he's bored. He reaches up women's dresses, and it's just so interesting. Everybody has the same story about him because this is his move. And he doesn't have very many of them, apparently. And and Miss South Carolina, who competed in the Miss USA pageant, they were all on various platforms today. I tweeted it out so you could see it live. They were hosted by Greenwald from Brave New Films, who does documentaries and short films. And so he's been covering all of the accusers' stories to try and get Congress interested in the fact that the president is a serial assaulter of women. He's a molester, uninvited, who could do anything he wants by virtue of his own admission because he's a celebrity. So the women were on the TV today. They were all over Facebook. It was Brave New Films hosted it on their Facebook site. And, it was also viewable on PBS. PBS, anybody? PBS? No. And then clips of it appeared in various media outlets. But Sarah was asked about these women, and this is where the conversation deteriorated.
I would just say, Sarah, that journalists make honest mistakes, and that doesn't make them fake news. But the question that
when journalists make honest mistakes, they should own up to them. Sometimes
they do,
and a lot of times you don't. But there's a difference. There's a very big. I'm sorry, I'm not finished. There's a very big difference between making honest mistakes and purposefully misleading the American people. Something that happens regularly. You can't say I'm not done. You cannot say that it's an honest mistake when you're purposely putting out information that you know to be false, or when you're taking information that hasn't been validated, that hasn't been offered any credibility, and that has been continually denied by a number of people, including people with direct knowledge of an instance. This is something I'm speaking about the number of reports that have taken place over the last couple of weeks. I'm simply stating that there should be a certain level of responsibility.
All right, so you get her drift? All right, let's see. Here's a little clip from Friday night in Pensacola, and you could tell me whether or not this was purposely lying or not having the correct information and broadcasting it to the entire nation, on purpose to mislead.
They like things the way they used to be. They don't like it so much now, although I must tell you, they're doing well also. Their stocks are going up. I don't know if there's anything I can do to prevent it for those people. But they call themselves the resistance. You ever see these signs? Resist. I love these guys. Look at these guys. Blacks for Trump. I love you. I love you. By the way, now that you bring it up, black home ownership just hit the highest level it's ever been in the history of our country. Congratulations.
Is that true? No, it is not. Is that even close to the truth? Not even related. You see what I mean, Sarah? You can't attack ABC News, who suspends a reporter for getting a story wrong, in an admission that the story needed to be corrected and that the reporter needed to be sidelined to teach him a lesson about sourcing, because that report should never have been made. And so he's been suspended for 1 month while ABC retracts the story. Black home ownership. Let's look at the facts, please, shall we? Black home ownership in this country peaked, meaning it was the highest it's ever been in the history of the United States of America in 2004. There was almost 50% of African Americans owning homes in this country, which is a congratulatory thing, but that was back 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago now. 2004. Oh, it is 13 years ago now. It's almost 14 years ago now. And then we had this massive tax cut in a time of war and a deregulation of the banks. And lo and behold, in 2008, the economy crashed, right? Yeah, so black home ownership, along with all home ownership, went down. 49.7% of African Americans own their own home. And then in 2008, that number went down to 42%. And guess what? Hasn't recovered. What the hell is he talking about? Sarah, I thought you needed to be responsible when you put information.
Journalists make honest mistakes, and that doesn't make them fake news. But the question that
But
I
when
have,
journalists make honest mistakes, they should own up to them. Sometimes, and a lot of times you don't. But there's a difference. There's a very big... I'm sorry, I'm not finished. There's a very big difference between making honest mistakes and purposefully misleading the American people, something that happens regularly. You can't say, I'm not done. You cannot say, that it's an honest mistake when you're purposely putting out information that you know to be false.
So you should tell that to the president of the United States, who continually puts out information that he knows to be false. This man has lied every single day, multiple times a day, in various forms, whether it's tweeting, fake stuff, whether it's retweeting white supremacy crap, whether it's endorsing a man like Roy Moore, who obviously has been accused by several women, some of them 14 years old, some of them 17 years old. And for some reason, we're not supposed to look at a 34-year-old man hitting on a 16-year-old girl or 17-year-old girl by calling up her school and having her come out of trigonometry class, which is shocking that Alabama teaches trig, but to call her out of the trigonometry class so that he could ask her out on a date. I mean, this is sick behavior. And the president is endorsing this sick, twisted man who says things like, America was great when we had slavery, because families were tight. And the amount of lies that Trump told in that Pensacola thing on Friday night was just unbelievable. It was not just black home ownership. He also said the jobs are coming, and all this ridiculous stuff. And
This is a rigged system.
Oh my God.
This is a sick system from
You're in charge of it.
the inside. And, there's no country like our country, but we have a lot of sickness in some of our institutions, and we're working very hard. We've got a lot of them straightened out, but we really do. We have a rigged system in this country, and we have to change it. Terrible. Terrible.
Do you know how dangerous this is? Do you have any idea how dangerous this is to cast out on the judicial system, to cast out on the FBI, to cast out on investigation? And this is what they're doing, okay? And they're doing it because they know that this president is guilty of something, and that 4 people have already been indicted with 2 guilty pleas, and it isn't going to end well for the president. Therefore, you have an entire news network called faux news, Fox News, fake news, that is sitting there every day, literally trashing America's confidence in a former FBI director who served 2 presidents of each party, and his investigation into whether or not this president is a foreign agent acting out Russia's foreign policy because he's blackmailable by that country. I mean, this is crazy. But wait, he goes off the deep. I mean, he can't tell the truth. He just cannot.
They're resisting progress. They're resisting change because the only thing they really care about is protecting what they've been able to do, which is really control the country and not to your benefit. By the way, wages starting to go up. First time in 20 years starting to go up. That's all going to happen.
Okay, that's a lie. Okay, that's a freaking lie. Wages went up 5 cents. 5 pennies since he's president. 5 cents. 0.2%. 0.2%. Our problem is stagnant, sluggish wages. And we are at full employment. And the last time we were at full employment was in 2000, before the crash. And wages were going up about 40 cents. Now they're going up. I mean, he just makes crap up. It's unfreaking believable. And that's all going to happen. Sarah, this is irresponsible according to your definition.
That's all going to happen.
It's all going to happen.
That's all going to happen. That's just a part of what's going on. But I'm going to do something better than that. We're going to have choice. Now, we have choice in education now. We're starting that, right? And I thought of it the other day. We're going to have choice in jobs so that you don't have one job and hang on even though you don't like it. you're going to have choice where you can take 5 jobs, 6 jobs, 7
5
jobs. Pick the one you like at the most money. That's what's starting to happen because the jobs are coming in.
Okay, the jobs are not pouring in. The jobs are not coming in. The fact check on whether or not we're building new factories or whether or not factories are relocating to the United States, actual spending on the construction of factories have dropped 14% over the past 12 months. There has been a steady decline in spending on factory construction since 2015, a trend Trump has been unable to reverse despite his claims otherwise. I mean, the man was standing on a stage for an hour and told more lies in an hour than anybody. And the crap that's going on Fox News, it's just sickening. I mean, Jeanine Pirro, I did a fact check on Jeanine Pirro. You know what fact check says about her, PolitiFact says about her, instead of going through each and every statement? They have Jeanine Pirro lies 100%. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.